That's why they're tougher. Okay, hang on. These are unique. Unique archers are such a pain. Oh, I can't close the door. Oh, because they opened the. All right, all right. Can I? No, I don't have the mana for it. Great. I wanted to cast a guardian. I guess I can't. Staff of lightning. Probably immune to magic and, or lightning. Oh, it died. Okay. There's a big Twitch streamer. You occasionally played it. What? That there. Ooh, a unique club. Do I have? It's a small club. Nope. Got infravision though. Alright, what's happening in Infravision Land? Well, there's a few there through the walls. Goat Shrine. Drink and be refreshed. Thank you! That's like the only thing that's there? Alright. Yeah. I'm almost... yeah, I'm pretty much done clearing this floor. Gained the levels. I've gained the loots. I shall go to floor number 8. Yes, indeed. 6. How do you like Diablo 3's shift in tone and atmosphere? It's not as dark and moody as the first 2 games. They got a lot of flack for that, I assume you would mean. Back when, early 2008, when they first announced... Actually, I'm going to go to town because this is going to be a doozy. So, I'll TP and I'll be able to talk without being stressed out. Back in 2008, when they first introduced the gameplay footage, they were basically showing off Diablo for the first time. I was very ecstatic. Oh my god, they're making a new Diablo game. I've been waiting for it for 12 years. And I was really disappointed in how the visuals were.
What can I do for you?
Not so much the resolution and stuff like that, but the mood. And I was one of those people that in the forums I was like photoshopping a little bit of their screenshots, and I did video compositing where I would alter, kind of like what you do in the movie, where you would change the colors, increase the contrast and stuff like that, or change the lighting. I was mostly working with the lighting, not so much with the contrast. So I kept the color and bright and colorful feel to it, but I added I artificially created line of sight with the lighting, because your character creates light and it's supposed to be dark on the edges so you don't know what's like in the distance, right? And Diablo 3 doesn't have that, so I was one of those people who was very vocal about like, you're ruining the feel and stuff like that, but at the same time I wasn't surprised, because I did the exact same thing when Diablo 2 came out. Diablo 2, when it came out, it was a bright and colorful game. This is way, like, Diablo 1 is way darker than Diablo 2. Diablo 2 has a dark story. It had gruesome visuals, mainly because it had the technology to pull that off. But in the day-to-day gameplay, it felt very juvenile. It felt very bright and colorful. Like skeleton mages that glow red and blue and green, and you know, you're fighting bugs. You're in the desert. It's bright outside, or you're in the, you know, you're in a in the meadow in the morning, because there's day and night cycles, although there's not much difference visually. And you hit like a little fallen, right? Little goblin-looking dudes. You hit them, you kill them in one hit, and all the ones surrounding, they run around. They feel like grunts in the Halo universe, where they're there for comic relief almost. And for me, Diablo 2 was blasphemy, essentially. And Diablo 3, from a visual standpoint, certainly did the trick. Like, certainly had that, whoa, hang on, what are you doing to my franchise, right? It's mine. I own it, essentially. Like, that's how I felt very strongly about. And when Diablo 3 came out, yeah, I had the initial reaction. But when you start playing it, I never felt like, oh my god, this is too kiddie. Like, the story is very juvenile. The story is like, you know, the Walt Disney style. And, ooh, hello. No, actually, I'll sell that.
Whoa, what can I do for you?
So, I think the most frustrating thing for me is the game was starting to get a little too crazy with its visual effects. And, whoa, you need to repair that shield.
Whoa, what can I do for you?
And in hindsight, I don't think that Diablo 3 looks that much different from Diablo 2. So I'm not too... Reaper of Souls fixed a lot of things in terms of mood. But yeah, I am disconnected from that. There's just something off about the franchise when you're rolling through dozens of enemies with no problem when they're exploding and purple laser beams everywhere. It feels like you're a superhero and this is just another day at the office. It's, I had that exact thought, Zigoden, when describing Diablo 2. You're running around, you're bashing multiple creatures at the same time, giant fireballs that blows up everywhere, corpse explosion, you know, icicles down from the air. You're just like vaporizing, annihilating hordes of demons and stuff like that. And at that point, when you you play, you're mowing down your pest control at that point, and you're actually looking forward to kill these enemies for their experience points and for their loot. So you're basically, you're the almost the demon, you know, terrorizing these monsters. And it's like, you know, it's supposed to feel backward. You're supposed to feel like the target. You're supposed to feel like a weak guy who's trying to survive. And Diablo 3 has the same vibe. Except that back then, Inferno difficulty was practically impossible, so, you know, they made it too hard. I would describe Diablo 2 like the God of War of the series, where you're just mashing buttons to kill stuff. And to me, Diablo 3 is more like... Have you ever played Geometry Wars? You're a tiny little spaceship with like a twin stick shooter. One stick is to direction and the other stick is to point to shoot. And you're just avoiding lots of crap on the screen, laser beams and explosions and bombs, and your goal is just to survive the level. To me, Diablo 3 kind of feels like that. Path of Exile is probably the closest to Diablo 2 in terms of atmosphere, and it plays really well. Maybe. The thing is that... And I don't want to say anything bad about Path of Exile. I've never played it. But to me... it's not a selling point to say, oh, it's like Diablo 2. I like Diablo 2. But I want more. Like, I don't want another Diablo 2. I want something that's more like Diablo 1. Diablo 2 is not it. Like, if that makes sense. Ding. I've tried Grim Dawn at one point, but it felt really incomplete and balancing was really weird. I should probably play it again. I would probably most likely play Torchlight 2, now that it's like there's a Mac version of it. The problem I had with Torchlight is mainly the aesthetics. They don't match the music. Like the whole mood doesn't match. Time cannot diminish the power of steel. So did you repair my stuff again? Oh, it looks like it. Then again, it wasn't that damaged. You know, in a way, Dark Souls is a lot like when I first played. Actually, you'll see that on the videos, like the Screw It, Let's Play Dark Souls on YouTube. I have I think a playlist that's like Dark Souls 1, and I distinctively remember talking in one of the episodes where I'm saying this is almost structured like a roguelike without the randomness, and that's why I love it. So yeah, Dark Souls 1 is very much like the original Diablo. I just kind of wish that it would be more random, or any random. Can you imagine, like, randomly generated levels? Don't change the difficulty of the monsters, just scatter them in the levels. Suddenly you get like a red player coming in and he's trying to kill you. There's my day, and it's a third person I'm not a huge fan of, but it's like, I want a Diablo like that. Like, it's perfect. I think that what really separates Diablo from Dark Souls at that point, and I'm specifically talking about the original Dark Souls, is the fact that you don't know what to expect. Bloodborne might be for you. It has underground dungeons that are optional, but procedural generated. It's a PlayStation 4 exclusive. Yeah, that's the bummer. And actually, my friend and I were experimenting with that game because he's got the game, and he realized that if you play it in co-op, one friend comes over to play it with you. You finish the dungeon, but it doesn't count. He doesn't get credit for the completion, so you basically have to do it twice. Once with him and. I have not played. I've sat on the couch with someone who has played Bloodborne, and I've watched someone play Bloodborne, but I was not. Actually, that's not true. I have played Bloodborne, but only like a hallway, like a little tiny section. I played for like half an hour, maybe 15 minutes. We were waiting for some buddies to come over for a Mortal Kombat night. So, the Soul series never had a proper co-op, unfortunately. It doesn't need to have a proper co-op, but if you're announcing your game to have co-op with a random dungeon aspect to it, make it proper. Just like if you announce that your game's on the PC, make it worthwhile. Like, spend time to not just remap your buttons on the keyboard. And for a developer that wasn't interested in making PC games, that they only wanted to do Xbox or PlayStation games, they did a fine job of doing the port. It's just unfortunately relatively incompetent. So I'll give them that. And the fact that they've listened to the feedback of people really want this on the PC. Alright, fine. I'll give them one. I think it's really cool of them to do that. I just wish they made, like, Dark Souls 3 is coming out, and I'm like, I really want to play that game, but I want to finish at least one of the Souls games, or close to finish. Like, I want to have my fill of, like, yeah, I'm done with this and I want more, kind of thing, right? Normally, you have that feeling when you're done. But one of the things that also makes Diablo, for me, very enjoyable is its simplicity. It's the fact that, you know, it's very clear what stuff does. Aptitude, and all of these stats are resistances and poison, and it's just... It's a lot to take in, and sometimes it's just, you don't need all of that. You just give me a dungeon with monsters to kill. Don't make it complicated for nothing. And I feel like, you know, when we discuss about difficulty for the sake of difficulty, I feel very strongly that Dark Souls is complicated just for the sake of it. There's tons of stats in there that probably shouldn't even exist. Maybe they existed in Demon's Souls and they just kept it because why not? It was in the original, but make a new game and make stats for that game.
Glory and approbation to Diablo, Lord of Terror and leader of the Three. My lord spoke to me of his two brothers, Mephisto and Baal, who were banished to this world long ago. My lord wishes to bide his time and harness his awesome power so that he may free his captive brothers from their tombs beneath the sands of the East. Once my lord releases his brothers, the Sin War will once again know the fury of the Three.
I think Bloodborne is my favorite. I especially like the lore and the style. The style is really nice. I kind of miss the chivalry type aesthetics of the